Hey, collective. I just want to talk for a few minutes. Whenever you have been with someone for as long as I was with my ex, around like 17, 18 years, something like that, it's very hard for a person like me to accept the nasty truth. It just is. It is very hard to accept because I am such a loving and forgiving and accepting kind of a person. I have a really hard time accepting the fact that my ex is evil and nasty and mean. And so even though we've been separated for 3 years now, I find it very hard to believe all of the wicked things that I know for a fact he is guilty of doing to me and other people. Which is why from time to time, I find myself feeling this warped sense of loyalty towards him. I feel myself like wanting to protect my abuser. It's really strange. It's weird. And then it makes me think, hey, Stockholm Syndrome is really real. There's real truth to that. Because he was incredibly awful to me. Which brings me to the point of what I really want to talk about. Over the past few days, I have really felt the need to share a situation that I went through with him a few years ago, right before I left him. It's like I need to get it off of my chest. Hear the sirens in the background as I'm trying to say this. But, I want to talk about the time that he and his mother tried to poison me with a piece of pizza. His mother would bring us leftovers from time to time. And, that wasn't strange. That was really normal. It was a normal occurrence. We'd been together for over a decade. His mom would just bring us leftovers from time to time. And there was one day where she brought over some like Little Caesars pizza that she had froze. And she brought it over and I put some of it in the oven and I reheated it. I took out a piece of this pizza and I took a few bites of it, and almost instantly, I could smell this chemical smell coming from the pizza. And I could taste this chemically taste in the pizza. But I thought to myself, no, Rusty, you're being paranoid. You've eaten her leftovers millions of times. It's fine. So I ate the piece of pizza. Directly after I finished this piece of pizza, my vision started to go blurry. My hands and my feet started to go numb, like they were tingling, like they had fallen asleep. And my whole body was aching. Something furious. Like, I felt so bad that I crawled into the fetal position and was basically crying, sobbing in the floor. And I screamed for my ex. I called out his name. And he came into the living room. And he was like, "What's wrong with you?" And I said, "There was something wrong with that pizza. Like, you really need to call 911. Something is wrong. I don't know what's happening." I will never forget the cold look on his face as he looked down at me laying on the floor. He shrugged his shoulders and said, "I'm not calling anyone. I think you're faking it." And then he walked outside with his friends and left me on the floor. Somehow I managed to get up and make it to the bathroom, but then I must have passed out because the next thing that I remember is coming to a few hours later, and I had peed all over myself somehow in this passing out thing that I did. I don't know what you call it. But, I got up, I cleaned myself up, and I went into the living room and sat down. But that's it. That's the time that my ex and his mother almost killed me with a piece of pizza. I mean, that is a time when I really believe that I was on the brink of death. I truly believe that if it hadn't been for God, they would have gotten me that time. It was horrific and scary and cruel. And that's only one instance of so many that I could talk about, that I could share about. And yet I still, from time to time, find myself feeling like I need to protect that asshole. It sucks, It really, really sucks. But it is what it is. So, I don't know. I just felt like I needed to share that to get it off of my chest. And so there it is. Much love.